all fun and games till someone gets shot.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to take another look at Jun Kazama. Jun Kazama is possibly one of the characters that I made the most videos about. Resurfaced tweets, old tweets, new tweets, character data, lore, just so many different things I discovered over the past 2-3 years, and I made videos on each individual topic. But for this video, I wanted to go back and gather all of that stuff that I found, everything, and put it all in one video and wrap it up nicely with a bow. So today we're going to be looking at Jun Kazama, and I'm going to be reading from her wiki, and as I said, tweets as well. When I normally do these lore breakdowns, I read from the Tekken wiki, but I noticed in doing Nina Williams' video that sometimes information that is on the real wiki, Wikipedia, and information that's on the Tekken wiki is different. An example that I have here, the wiki says when Nina and Anna were sleeping, it was for 19 years. The Tekken wiki says it was for 15 years. Now, if I had to guess which one of these two is right and wrong, I would say Wikipedia is probably the way to go. So that's another reason why I want to read the Wikipedia and try to get more of a clear and precise storyline. And somewhere in there, I'll take a break and I'll start looking at tweets from Harada because there's a lot of them. So if you guys like this kind of style of video, reading story and reading tweets and stuff like that, taking a deeper look at these characters, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 4K before the year is over. Really 4K before October is over. That's how fast the channel is growing. So if you guys can go ahead and smash that like, subscribe, and also share this video with other people so they know the story of Jun Kazama before Tekken Bloodline gets here, before Tekken 8 gets here, right? So starting off with the Wikipedia, Jun Kazama is a fictional character from Tekken fighting game series who made her debut in Tekken 2 and her first and only canonical appearance to date following the ambiguous relationship with Kazuya Mishima. She became the mother of Jun Kazama. A nature lover, Jun plays an important role in the story in spite of her absence for most of the series. While she was cut from the main series after her debut, Jun has continued to appear in the series spin-offs, including Tekken Tag Tournament series, where her alter ego Unknown serves as the final boss in both Tekken Tag Tournament series so far. Starting with Tekken 5, a relative of hers named Asuka Kazama started appearing in the games with the same fighting style. Now before we jump into design and gameplay, let's talk a little bit about the tweets from Harada. The first one says, at Harada, will Jun Kazama, ever be brought back into the main story? I want to see her save Kazuya personally. Naturally, now I have no comment, but someday she is an important and essential element in talking about the story of Kazuya and Jin. This is pretty cool because Harada is acknowledging how important she is for both of them. And what is Tekken 8 going to be focusing on? Kazuya versus Jin. So he's basically saying we know how important this character is and she may be there. Also, at the same time, you have to talk about Tekken Bloodline. This is a little bit of an older tweet from 2012. Is there any plans to have an old woman character for Tekken? Harada responds and says Jun Kazama is. Now, in this story, Jun Kazama is supposed to be 43. Nina is also 43, but the cryo sleeping makes her around 23 or something like that. Lita, if I'm correct, I think she's 29 or 30, something like that, but that's the oldest three that I know of, right? Now focusing on her design and gameplay, we'll read more tweets in just a second. Jun is a young Japanese woman with fair skin and short black hair. Her given name Jun is written as to conform, can also mean pure. She is associated with the color white, which symbolizes purity and innocence. Jun practices Kazama-style traditional martial arts. It's mainly based on karate and jiu-jitsu. When she returned in the Tekken series and Tekken Tag Tournament 2, she was given a greatly updated moveset, while still shares similarity with her old moveset. Has moveless geared to be more offensive style of attacking, and is made to differentiate more from Asuka's moveset. However, some moves from the previous games are removed. Dropping down to appearances. Jun is an officer of the Wildlife Protection Organization. She is called the Chosen One by her relatives. She is highly psychic, being able to sense Kazuya's powers stemmed from the devil. At WWC's order, she set out to arrest Kazuya, who smuggles environmentally protected animals. When the King of Iron Fist Tournament 2 was coming to an end, Jun comes to the revelations that Kazuya's supernatural strength stems from the devil, but she is attracted to him by a mystic force beyond her control. I'm gonna say love. She becomes pregnant by Kazuya after Kazuya is thrown into a volcano by his father Heihachi. In the conclusion of the tournament, parts of the devil leave him and unsuccessfully attempts to possess Jun's unborn child. She flees to the forest of Yakushima, where she raises her child Jin away from the evil and danger. What's really interesting about this part where it says she becomes pregnant by Kazuya, I covered a comic from like the 90s, and basically in this comic, Devil Kazuya and Jun Kazama is flying around the sky, up in the air, chaos on the ground, buildings is destroyed, Angel showed up, Kazuya beat up leg, Kuma got stomped on. After all of that, Jun Kazama and Kazuya is flying through the sky having sex. It was so amazing seeing that. And I say amazing because people always wondered how did they make a baby in a fight, and it turns out if you fly high enough, no one else can reach you and you can have all the fun you want in the sky. Until something tells me otherwise, that's the canonical story I'm gonna go with because that is just hilarious. Another thing to note here it says parts of the devil leave Kazuya and tries to go into Jun's body and then go into Jin, which is inside of her, but she escapes because it says unsuccessfully. So she escapes and they make it seem like she's hiding up in this mountain Yakushima to be away from the evil and danger. That's what it says. Now, I really want to see what it is with Ogre. Why did Ogre, so the devil spirit or whatever couldn't reach them, but Ogre did. Went up to the mountain, went up to their home and wreaked havoc.
In order to defeat him,
Tekken Bloodline should answer some of our questions, but I feel like Tekken 8 will be the real one to do so. 15 years later, born of the events of Tekken 3, Jun senses an approaching of Ogre and warns Jin to seek his grandfather Heihachi should anything happen to her. One night, Ogre attacks and knocks out Jin. When he wakes up, the Kazama house is burned and Jun is missing. Jin is devastated and swears revenge on Ogre. At the time of the attack, Jin was 15, and once Tekken 3 started, he was 19. That shows how much time he spent without Jun Kazama, how much time has passed during Ogre's first attack. Looking at some more tweets from Harada. Jun Kazama in Tekken 7, if that will happen, will you consider including her? Harada says we couldn't get enough of an audience on Tag 2 about her. And this was in 2016, and basically what he means by this is her usage. Her usage wasn't big enough to justify putting her in base roster. Now maybe once they got into the DLC, they were like, no, we're just going to wait until Tekken 8 because this character is so important. Why would you add her in DLC if you're not going to do a whole DLC storyline to go with it? Hey Harada, but does that mean Jun chances are dead? Or do we have to wait until the next game comes out to find out? Harada responds and says, if Jun appeared in the future, why did you spoil that time? This is messed up. I never commented on other characters here as well, right? What I'm thinking he's saying here is, if he was to answer this question and say yes or no, people will say, why did you spoil it? Why did you tell us this before the time came? So he's kind of like being ambiguous for a reason. Now this tweet is the big one. This has been said a lot, but is Ogre holding Jun's head in Tekken 3 arcade intro? Harada says, I said no over 50 times. Another response says, it's his thinking, meaning that's what Jin thinks. Jun is missing. And it's an argument different from an image. Game says yes, nah. So Even though the game says yes, it's kind of framed through the eyes of Jin. So it's Jin saying yes, not necessarily the story overall saying yes. At this point in time in Tekken 3, Jin is like our narrator. Jin is like our eyes that we're viewing everything through. Sergey Cheetah says, Jun, what would be the reason she's gone from 3, 4, 5, and 6? Harada says, because she was not popular. We had world arcade / console usage data. Wonky adds a little bit more to this and says, despite the large outpouring from Jun Kazama on social media, her actual usage rate in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was still too low to match it. And I think in Tekken 8, they're going to put her in regardless of usage, because there's some characters like Yoshimitsu, Eddie, Lars. There's some main male characters that still remain throughout, even though their usage isn't that high. They're loved, they're favored, but they're not as high up on the usage. And Jun Kazama is the same, yet she got cut for it. And I think another reason for that is because of Asuka. Asuka is one of the most popular characters in the game. Picking back up with the wiki, although Jun did not appear in the subsequent canonical games in the series, she is still mentioned throughout. She appears as a soul or vision in Jin Kazama's Tekken 4 ending, which persuades Jin to spare Heihachi's life in honor of herself. She is also mentioned numerous times by Jin and Kazuya during the prologue and scenario campaign of Tekken 6, which retells the main events of the previous games. Whenever I see her spirit form or her showing up in visions, my interpretation of that, and we'll see if they go this route, but I'm wondering in Tekken 8 if they'll make unknown canon, and they'll say that is where Jun has been all this time. She's been trapped in that void and she's been possessed by unknown. But her reaching out in spirit form and in visions is her trying to, one, connect with Jin and say, help me. But two, at the same time, her helping Jin. In these moments where he possibly can be really consumed by the devil gene, she steps in and say, don't do it. Don't let yourself go down that path. And what's interesting in the Tekken Bloodline, the few snippets that we've seen before it comes out, she says these exact same things.
Control your anger. Don't let it control you. Jin Kazama.
In order to beat your opponent, you must defeat yourself. And I think that is a reference to the devil gene inside. Control that, and you can control your anger, your battle, your everything. And you'll become a stronger fighter and just person because of it. Now we're going to talk about the reception. While she was removed from the series after Tekken 2 due to being unpopular, the character has been well received. Common Sense Media said Jun in the Tekken motion picture that her character and morals give the films its only shred of redeeming social value. I did a full breakdown for the Tekken motion picture, and this review is kind of harsh because I felt like there was a lot of good things in there. Not only Jun Kazama, she was definitely a strong point, but I felt like Lee, Kazuya, the Williams sisters, there was a lot of strong points in there that I liked, but maybe it's because I'm biased. I like the Tekken series. I like these characters, so maybe that hinders my ability to see through the cracks. According to Games Radar, despite a relatively minor role, Jun is kind of the Lincoln for the whole series. 2013 Complex ranked Jun as the 12th best Tekken character of all time, stating that even though she hasn't been playable in the main series since Tekken 2, Jun's influence continues to affect other characters. And that's another thing, another strong thing about Jun Kazama. She has been absent for a very long time, but her story, her effect still remains. There's a lot of characters who's been in multiple games and you can remove them and no one will bat an eye. Nothing will change. But Jun Kazama, you take her out and everything's different. Everything. Brazilian edition of PlayStation Official Magazine put her at 6th place on their 2016 list of unforgettable mothers in PlayStation games. You can see the other screenshots. You can see Jun is one of the top 10 gaming MILFs in 2018. Ugly polygon babes of yesteryear. Jun always projected a sort of soft, nurturing femininity that contrasted sharply with her chosen, career of punching people in the teeth. So you can see all the nice things that people say about this character. Fiercest female in today's fighting games. But I think all of that stuff together kind of summarizes what this character is. So much unlocked potential. In this video, I just want to talk about everything and try to put it all in one place for those of you who may not know this or that or the other. But thanks for watching. That's going to be it. Check out some of the other lore breakdowns that I did. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.